What if the Avengers already lost without us realizing it, and the real war hasn't even begun yet? What if every sacrifice we witnessed was only the opening move of a much darker game? Tonight, the supposed leaked script of Secret Wars tears open reality itself, and what it reveals will completely change how you see. The story begins exactly where Kang Dynasty leaves us, with broken heroes, shattered timelines, and a universe on the edge of collapse. In its final moments, Kang doesn't just win a battle, he rewrites existence itself. By uniting with the Beyonder, he fuses multiple realities into one living weapon called Battleworld, a twisted throne of creation. At the heart of this nightmare stands Chronopoulos, the central city of Battleworld, rebuilt as a monument to conquest and control. Kang the Conqueror now rules as a god-king across fused dimensions, watching infinite realities kneel under one empire. Time is no longer freedom here, it is a chain wrapped around every surviving soul left behind. The first horrifying reveal of the leaked script is the fate of the heroes after the Kang Dynasty War. The battlefield victory came at a terrible cost. Spider-Man, and Spider-Man from 3 worlds are captured together, alongside Ghost Rider, Deadpool, Wolverine, the Fantastic Four, and a terrified but defiant Miss Marvel locked inside Chronopoulos cells. Imprisoned beneath the glare of Kang's throne, these heroes are no longer warriors, they are trophies. The 3 Spider-Men stand side by side again, echoing their unity from No Way Home, but this time there is no celebration, only despair. Kang doesn't imprison them for safety, he cages them for destiny like pieces on a board. Then comes Kang's cruelest monologue, the speech that reframes everything we thought about multiversal heroes. He explains that power is not equal across realities and that only one version of a hero truly matters. Among the 3 Spider-Men, one is the prime variant, Destiny's chosen counterweight to Kang, and that hero is Tom Holland's Peter Parker. This reveal transforms the prison into something far worse than a cell. It becomes a prophecy chamber. Tom Holland's Spider-Man is not just another survivor, he is the end of Kang written into the structure of reality itself. Every loss, every battle, every mistake has silently shaped him into the multiverse's final anchor point of survival. But not every powerful figure falls into Kang's trap. The most impossible survival of all belongs to he who remains, the man who once died at the hands of Sylvie. Somehow restored, somehow altered, he carries the memory of every timeline Kang ever consumed. And this time, his goal is no longer control, but complete destruction. Doctor Strange becomes his unlikely partner, the same man who once viewed outcomes in fragments, now willing to gamble everything on one impossible path. Their objective is clear and terrifyingly specific: infiltrate Battleworld, evade Kang's omniscient reach, and strike at the source of his godlike power before time itself seals shut forever across the collapsing multiverse. The supposed key to undoing Battleworld lies in 2 artifacts that once seemed separate and symbolic: Shanghai's 10 rings and Miss Marvel's mysterious bands. Together, they form the same energy signature Kang used to shape reality like wet clay. To take Battleworld apart, they must steal back the very tools that created it before everything collapses. As Strange and He Who Remains slip between broken timelines, new figures begin to surface from forgotten worlds. The first shock is the return of a face the multiverse has mourned: Robert Downey Jr., reappearing not as the fallen savior we knew, but as the ruthless superior Iron Man from Earth 818, cold eyes burning with ambition. This Iron Man is not driven by sacrifice, he is driven by superiority, control, and the belief that only he deserves power over existence. Alongside him return other lost legends, a battle-worn Captain America and a resurrected Natasha Romanoff, each pulled from divergent branches of reality that were never meant to reconnect until Battleworld forced convergence. At first, superior Iron Man presents himself as the ultimate solution, a calculating genius with no emotional chains to hold him back. His armor is sleeker, darker, and vibrating with stolen dimensional energy. He claims he doesn't want the multiverse saved, he wants it perfected, trimmed down to only realities worthy of survival by his design. Even knowing his intentions blur the line between savior and tyrant, Strange and He Who Remains accept his help because Kang and the Beyonder together are something no single army can face. The assault on Chronopoulos becomes the largest convergence of power ever assembled, heroes and villains standing side by side under a shattered sky screaming. The captives feel the shift before they see it, tremors cracking through their cells as reality itself begins to bend under pressure. In a chilling parallel to the portals scene from Endgame, silhouettes of countless warriors tear through glowing fractures in the air. Hope returns not as a whisper, but as a thunderclap across worlds simultaneously. Kang and the Beyonder meet the attackers at the steps of Chronopoulos in a display of arrogance that borders on cosmic insanity. Kang bends time like a weapon, reversing deaths and accelerating destruction in the same breath, while the Beyonder reshapes armies with a flick of thought as if imagination itself were under his direct command. What follows is not a battle, it is the collision of universes in human form. Deadpool shatters the fourth wall mid-fight, Ghost Rider's hellfire scorches living starlight, Wolverine carves through temporal clones of himself, and the three Spider-Men swing together through collapsing gravity fields like echoes refusing to fade, as if destiny itself cannot erase them. At the center of the chaos, Superior Iron Man performs with surgical precision, not with rage, but with calculated dominance. He studies the Beyonder mid-combat like a puzzle to be solved and begins adapting in real time. With every passing second, his armor absorbs fragments of godly energy, quietly rewriting the balance of power toward victory. Through a perfectly timed convergence of chaos and calculation, Kang and the Beyonder finally fall, overwhelmed by combined force and impossible strategy. For the first time since Battleworld's creation, time moves forward without Kang's hand tightening around its throat. The sky stabilizes, the ground stills, and the surviving heroes dare to believe the nightmare is over. It is in that fragile moment of relief that the true horror of the leaked script reveals itself. While heroes lower their guards and breathe in victory, Superior Iron Man does not celebrate, he calculates. In a flash of blinding energy, he strikes both defeated entities at once, executing Kang and the Beyonder with ruthless efficiency. Power meant for gods floods into a single machine-bound mind, and in seconds, the balance of the entire multiverse shatters again. The heroes do not even have time to process the betrayal before reality bends to Superior Iron Man's will. His voice echoes across Battleworld, declaring that chaos has been inefficient and order will now be supreme. The twist lands like a hammer on everything the audience thought they understood. Kang was never the final villain. The Beyonder was never the end game. The true last obstacle of the multiversal saga is a corrupted echo of the original hero who once gave his life to save a single universe, now seeking to rule all. With Kang and the Beyonder erased in an instant, the heroes finally understand the scale of what they face. This is not a tyrant driven by destiny or obsession, this is a god powered by intellect without mercy. Superior Iron Man reshapes parts of Battleworld mid-sentence, demonstrating that concepts like space, direction, and distance now obey. In the depths of the shattered battlefield, destiny narrows its focus to one figure still standing without godlike power, without a throne, and without armor. Tom Holland's Spider-Man rises from the debris, bruised, terrified, and resolute. The leaked script names him the multiverse's anchor being, the one existence bends around when everything else collapses at threshold. Superior Iron Man calls Spider-Man insignificant, a statistical anomaly destined for erasure, but the script flips that arrogance into tragic irony. Every collapsing reality stabilizes briefly around the young hero, as if the multiverse itself recognizes its last defense. For the first time since absorbing godhood, Superior Iron Man cannot instantly overwrite the outcome in front. The battle that follows is described as the largest confrontation ever imagined in the MCU, not just in scale, but in meaning. Spider-Man fights not with brute force, but with memory, instinct, and refusal to surrender. Every punch he throws echoes moments from his past, from lost mentors to impossible choices that built his will. Superior Iron Man counters with the confidence of absolute power, bending probability and rewriting physical laws mid-strike. He fractures Spider-Man across mirrored realities, forcing him to fight 1,000 versions of defeat at once. Yet in every broken reflection, the same determination stares back, stitched together by guilt, love, and responsibility that godhood cannot erase. The three Spider-Men appear in the battle not as separate fighters, but as emotional echoes supporting the Prime variant through collapsing timelines. Toby's quiet endurance, Andrew's raw grief, and Tom's burning resolve fuse into a single unstoppable will. It becomes a living representation of how pain, loss, and hope across universes shape one unbreakable hero. As the fight escalates beyond matter and into abstract existence, Superior Iron Man begins to unravel under the one variable he never calculated: choice. Spider-Man refuses to fight to rule, refuses to rewrite others for efficiency, and that moral defiance destabilizes the godlike logic powering his enemy. For the first time, superior Iron Man feels. In a final exchange beyond time, Spider-Man channels the combined will of every hero who ever stood up after falling. The strike is not empowered by stones or sorcery, but by consequence itself. Superior Iron Man's armor shatters across dimensions like falling glass, and with it, the stolen divinity fractures into manageable fragments once more. With Superior Iron Man defeated and stripped of godhood, the battlefield falls into an eerie stillness. Victory is achieved, yet it tastes hollow. The damage inflicted on existence is too deep to ignore. Entire realities flicker like dying stars, stitched together only by desperate temporal scaffolding that cannot hold forever without catastrophic collapse across creation. He who remains returns to the forefront with the last plan left on the table, one that does not save everything, but preserves what can still endure. The TVA mobilizes across broken timelines to fuse what remains of the major realities into a single stabilized structure: the MCU, the X-Men universe, and the Fantastic Four. This forced convergence is not framed as a clean victory, but as a necessary surrender. Countless worlds vanish so a single shared universe can survive. The erased timelines do not explode, they fade gently, as if slipping into a quiet archive of memory. Every hero watches knowing that infinite lives were traded for one fragile. The result is described as a soft reboot rather than a reset button, a stitched-together world where past sacrifices still matter and memories still leave scars. In this new unified reality, the Avengers exist alongside the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Ghost Rider, and Spider-Man without the need for dimensional gates or narrative excuses holding reality. This new MCU is not a paradise, it is a battlefield of shared history, where everyone remembers that everything almost ended. Heroes carry the weight of lost realities like unhealed wounds, shaping darker decisions and heavier consequences. The world is unified, but trust is fragile, and the idea of absolute safety is permanently erased from. The leaked script's most fascinating achievement is how it allows a legendary actor to return without undoing the meaning of his original sacrifice. Superior Iron Man is not Tony Stark resurrected, he is a distorted possibility, a warning of what genius becomes when empathy is replaced by efficiency. In defeat, his legacy becomes a lesson. The ending leaves the audience with victory, grief, and anticipation braided together. Spider-Man survives not as a king, not as a god, but as what he has always been, a protector shaped by loss. The multiverse collapses into singularity, but the emotional universe expands, promising stories born from unity instead of fragmentation after endless years. As a supposed leak, this story aligns eerily well with earlier Kang Dynasty rumors, strengthening the illusion that this could be Marvel's intended endgame all along. The structure, the callbacks, the scale, and the emotional anchors feel deliberately engineered to close one era while igniting another without erasing the past that made it matter forever. If even half of this script is real, it would represent the boldest narrative gamble Marvel has ever attempted, turning its greatest icon into its final obstacle and entrusting ultimate victory to its youngest Avenger. It is a story about inheritance, about power outliving its creators, and about responsibility becoming the last weapon against inevitable. What makes the Superior Iron Man twist resonate is not just the shock, but the mirror it holds to the audience. It asks whether power without limits will always betray intention, and whether the line between protector and tyrant is thinner than we admit. In this story, the greatest danger is not conquest, but one. The emotional spine of this supposed film is Spider-Man's quiet resistance to becoming more than human. Even when faced with godlike opposition, he never tries to ascend, only to protect. That refusal to dominate is what ultimately defeats a machine built to optimize existence. In a saga obsessed with power, the final victory belongs. In the aftermath, no throne remains, no cosmic tyrant stands above the rest, only fragile survival and the promise of rebuilding. The unified universe begins not with celebration, but with silence, the kind that follows when storms finally pass. Every hero steps forward carrying memories from worlds that no longer exist, shaping a future that. Secret Wars, as described in this leak, is not just the end of a saga, it is the compression of everything Marvel has built into a single defining crucible. It brings gods to their knees, lifts mortals to impossible heights, and reminds us that legacy is not about power retained, but power relinquished at the Whether this script is prophecy or pure fantasy, it reflects the direction the multiverse narrative has been quietly steering toward for years: convergence, consequence, and rebirth through sacrifice. It promises a future where familiar heroes share one sky at last, where crossovers are no longer events but everyday reality, and where the price of survival. If this supposed leak ignites even a fraction of the spectacle it promises, Secret Wars could redefine what a cinematic universe truly means. And if you want deep dives, breakdowns, and bold theories that go beyond the surface of the multiverse, make sure you subscribe to FilmVerse Hollywood, hit that like button, and stay ready.